Afternoon, friends. Brian here, coming from Southeast Missouri. Just bought me this new JCT 6-foot brush cutter for the front of my T650. Got it mounted on my tractor right now just to do some preliminary checking on it, fill the gearbox up and check the tightness of the bolts. First thing I noticed is there's a lot of distance between the two quick attach mounts, and I just grabbed it and hooked it up, and one goes down, one doesn't go down. So I'm thinking that maybe it's got to be closer to centered for it to work. I'll give that a try. Well, I was right on about that. So being this it was made wider than typically needs to be, you have to have it pretty much centered for your levers to lock down. So it's a little harder on the tractor since you can't see it real good, but a little trial and error, you can get it. You could probably come up with something to help center it, but for now, I'm really not planning on using it on my tractor anyway. So what I'm gonna do now is take off this cover so I can fill up the gearbox, and to start it with, I just got it level just to make sure it would fill up right. So let's get to that. Unfortunately, from what I've seen, this Lovejoy connector does not hold up. So I will probably go ahead and run it until it is toast. In the meantime, I will look up for the replacement, which I think is pretty readily available since several people have done this. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and check the lube in the gearbox. There's not supposed to have any, so which is a quick fail point. We'll get that done, and then I will flip this thing up and tighten all the bolts, and we'll give it a try. Just for your reference, so you don't have to go back and forth to your toolbox, the check plug is a 5/16 Allen wrench, and it's not super tight. The fill plug, which was hand tight, is a 13/16, and it does have an O-ring on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the plug out. And it seems to be pretty empty. So I got me a quart of gear oil, and I'm gonna see how much it takes to get it to come out. Well, I can tell you that 1 quart of gear oil for my JCT does not come up to level. So, and now I can go to checking all the tightness of the nuts and bolts. And next time I go to town, I'll get me some more gear oil. So far, it seems like all the fasteners are American SAE, so keep that in mind. Checking the hydraulic motor mount bolts to this angle plate. access the gearbox from the bottom with an impact wrench and the motor mount angle plate from the bottom. All right, let's go ahead and start the tractor up. Get this thing off the ground so we can look underneath. Another view of the top. There's the Lovejoy that I'm not thinking it's going to hold up, according to what I've seen. Other things I notice is this skid pad. Looks like it's about 2 inches wide, and I don't even know if it's an 1/8 inch thick. It might even be 3/32 or a millimeter or something like that. All right, so what I'm seeing on the bottom is what I've seen in the videos. It's got the free, it does move. It's got the blades. Looks like they're sharpened on both sides, but pretty blunt on both sides. One side sharper than the other. It looks like it does have, there are no castle nuts, which is what I've seen earlier on earlier videos that failed. So, and it's got a cotter pin in it to keep it from backing off completely. I guess it could still loosen up. What I want to do is get my tape measure, give you some dimensions. All right, so it's got this carrier. Looks pretty substantial. I'd say it's 5/8 thick and roughly 2 feet in diameter. These bolts look like they're maybe 5/8 in diameter. And like I said, they got the lock nut on them. So that actually looks pretty good right there compared to what I've seen. And these bottom holders look pretty good too. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna go ahead and get a wrench on those nylocks that hold the gear motor on and just make sure they're tight, along with these nylocks that hold the hydraulic motor on. All right, we are going to try to wind this thing up on the tractor. So it's at idle, so let's see what happens. Well, nothing flew apart, and obviously I don't know what it looks like yet, but it's pretty well balanced. So I'm thinking I'm gonna just try to cut some light brush with it with the tractor just to see how it works, just because I'm impatient. And then when we try to cut some real stuff, it'll be with the T650. This is some ground that I cleaned out behind the house. There's nothing big in here, just some little growth that comes back every year because I haven't planted anything. But I thought I'd give it a try here first just to see how it works. Not sure what you saw of all that, but it was actually pretty easy with the tractor. The only thing I would say is that I'd have to put a rubber band around the third function button because it's hard to keep holding it. But I checked the lines when I was done after that was 10-15 minutes of cutting, and lines weren't hot, so I don't know what that means. I wasn't running it that hard. It mows good, but it's hard to hold the button and look backwards so you don't run into a tree. So I can't wait to get it on the T650 and see what it'll really do. I did a little bit of a brush up here, just chopping on this hillside, and there ain't nothing bigger than an inch, and it didn't even phase it. Didn't do very much, but as you can see, it's all pretty much rocks here too, so didn't want to get too aggressive on that. Break it the first day that I have it. But I can see this thing being very useful to me. So get the gearbox filled up all the way, get it on the Bobcat, go to eating.